You guys how I make my GIFs. So I just made this one and I'm gonna show you how I did that. Okay, so the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna go to File, then you're gonna go to Scripts, you're gonna do Load Files into Stack, and you're gonna find where you put your images. And this is the way that I like to do my file organization. So I already know which images I want to make as a GIF, and I'll just kind of like lump all of those together. So for example, these are the images. So as you can see, they're all kind of lumped together. And so I'm just gonna grab all of these and I'm gonna click OK. And as you can see, it's gonna basically load everything in like this. I don't know why. Sometimes it will load perfectly and sometimes it's like completely out of order. So as you can see, it is out of order. So I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm following the numbers. I'm gonna go ahead and put these in the correct order because otherwise it's gonna get confusing. Okay, so now that's all in order. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab all of these again and I'm gonna go to Edit and do Auto Align Layers. I'm gonna click Auto. These other ones will do kind of some funky things to it, to your images. So don't click that. And basically what this does is it lines up the images so that it looks as seamless as possible. And you will see, let me move this, that you'll have like kind of this funky looking stuff going on. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna crop it. You're gonna crop it where it's just kind of like around here. Because as you can see, like as you get farther down, there's a little bit more of the artboard that needs to be cropped down. So we're just gonna kind of freehand it is what I do. I just kind of crop in. I try and keep as much in the image as possible, but if I need to crop a lot out just because of it lining the layers up, that's what I'll do. And then I will just go down and do one frame at a time. And if you don't have the timeline pulled up, I can never remember where it's at. It's actually under Windows, but I always just go to Help and I just type in timeline and it will just kind of pop up. But once you have this popped up, you're gonna do Create Frame Animation, and you're basically gonna make the same amount of frames as there are images. So there'll be 13 frames within here. And what I do is I just go, and actually I'm looking at it and there's still some cropping that needs to be done. So, oh, and right here. So we're just gonna crop it even more. We'll crop it like that. Okay, so that looks good. I don't see any weird stuff going on here. And then I'm just gonna make a frame for each one. So all you do to do that is click like that. Add another frame and then click the next image that's in the sequence. So let me do that really quickly. Okay, so now that you have all of your frames, the first thing that I do, typically for these types, I always do 0.2. So that's just the time on it. I feel like that works pretty well. So the first time you render it, it's gonna be pretty slow. So let's see. And sometimes I'll have to delete frames. I'm like, oh, actually that didn't quite turn out the way I wanted. So like I am not crazy about, like I don't need both of these images and I don't feel like this image goes. I think that was from something else. So I'm gonna delete that frame and let's see, I don't need both of those. I think I'm gonna delete that first one. So delete, yes. And let's look at it now. I think actually I'm gonna undelete what I just did. So let's see. I'm gonna delete this one again. Yes, delete. And which one do I like better? I think I like this one better, so I'm gonna delete that first one. I don't remember if that was the one I deleted. So as you can see, as you can see, I'm going to delete this one again. Yes, delete. And which one do I like better? I think I like this one better, so I'm going to delete that first one. I don't remember if that was the one I deleted. So as you can see, I'm gonna delete this. Let's see what it looks like without it. Okay, that feels more seamless. And sometimes that's what I have to do is just kind of like play around with it, like delete frames or whatever. Like sometimes it's just unnecessary information. But that all looks good. I'm happy with that. And so the way that you export this is you go to and before you export it, go to image and go to image size, because you want to make sure you have this number right here, because if you don't and you try and export this out as like a 3000 by 2000 or something like that, you're gonna have black boxes around it. So let's do this. Make sure you either write this down or memorize it or whatever you need to do. I usually just copy this and then just try and memorize that. 1376. You go to file and then you go to you go to export render video. I'm gonna name this GIF test because I actually already did this. I think this actually, okay, so if you do document size, it'll actually pull in the right number. Sometimes it'll try and export for me as like a 3000 by 2000. I get these really annoying black boxes. So this all looks good. It will save it as a .mp4, so it's actually a video. It's not a true GIF or GIF or whatever you want to call it. And so even whenever you export this out, there's still an additional step that you have to do. And I'll go into that in a second. So click render and it's going to export out. And I'll show you where this is at. So this is the video that we just made. Let me make it a little bit smaller so it can fit in the frame. And as you can see, it's only looping one time, right? So that's whenever you have to open Premiere Pro. And you have to, and I'll go over this in a second, but you have to open up Premiere Pro and you have to duplicate this MP4 like 3, 4, or 5 times, however many times you want this to loop. And then you save that out. So this is only like step 1, and then there is a step 2. So stay tuned for that. You're gonna open up either Premiere Pro or iMovie or whatever you want to use to edit video. And you're gonna go, oh, it says QuickTime. So you're gonna go to import, and you're gonna import your GIFs. So I think I liked the first version I did of this better. So we'll just do that. So I'm gonna import my GIF, and I'm gonna right click, and I'm going to do new sequence from clip, and that will just create a sequence. So let me kind of back this out a little bit. Oops, pressing the wrong buttons here. I'm gonna do like this so that I can see it better. And so you're gonna take this and you're gonna copy it. And to do that, I just click it and hold down Option and drag, click and drag. Oops, I don't think that was the same. Let me zoom in a little bit. Click and drag. And there might be a better way to do this. And if there is, just feel free to tell me that. Okay, so now I've got this 3 different times. And so that's when you see it looping like that. Or I guess I have it 4 times. You see it looping. Okay, great. Cool. I'm cool with that. And now all you have to do is export this. So I do these little ticker marks. It basically just says this is where it begins and ends. And then I just go to File, Export. I do typically use Media Encoder, but I'm not going to do it on this one because it's not going to take that long. So I'm going to do Export. It's going to pop up like this. That all looks good to me. I just want to make sure that it's going to the correct place. So we'll just put it right back here. Not the best file organization in the world at this moment because I'm making these videos. But let's just do that. We'll just call it GIF1 and do export. And it is exporting, and I'll show you the finished result. Nope, that is the wrong folder. That is also the wrong folder. Okay, and now you can see it's looping multiple times, and it's actually a .mp4, which is pretty cool because sometimes GIF, like actual like true GIFs, whatever they're called, they don't work with Instagram or like whatever. They're more difficult to upload on platforms. So, but the MP4s are not. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope this was helpful, and yeah, let me know if you have any questions in the comments below.